Well, hey, everybody. How y'all doing? I hope everybody's having a beautiful, blessed day. I know I am. It's beautiful here in Iola, Texas, y'all. Good and cold and everything. It's clear and sunshiny, but it's definitely cold out there. So I'm in here cooking away, y'all. I am ready today to redeem myself on these brownies. I am determined to make these brownies be what I want them to be. There was nothing wrong with that recipe. If you like almost a cake-like brownie, that first recipe is the one for you, other than I still thought it needed a little salt in it, or use salted butter. But anyway, I think I told all that in that video. But y'all, somebody mentioned to me about this bar, getting the chocolate in the bars, and that on the inside of it, it had a recipe for brownies that they thought was the one that I was looking for. Okay? And sure enough, it's exactly what they told me it said. It says, Baker's One Bowl Brownies. Okay? Baker's One Bowl Brownies. And this is the Baker's Premium Chocolate, y'all, that's been around forever. This is the unsweetened one, right? Okay? So we're going to make this recipe to the T, other than I read on here, and it says to bake these for 30 to 35 minutes. We're going to check that, y'all. But otherwise, I'm going to do everything else just like it says. All right? Y'all gonna go along with me, watch another brownie recipe just to see? I got to know, y'all. I got to know. I'm gonna make these brownies this morning, okay? So, I got everything pretty much ready to rock in here, y'all. I got my oven preheating on 350, okay? I'm gonna have to be reading off this card, y'all. Preheating on 350. All right. Now, you got to have a 9x13 pan lined with foil and sprayed. Done. I've got that done. Now, the very first thing I got to do, y'all, is take this chocolate, which is a whole bar of it. This is a, 4-ounce bar, okay? I went ahead and broke it up a little bit, but there's my chocolate bar, broken up, unsweetened chocolate, and 3/4 of a cup of butter. Y'all know what I'm realizing here? Is that this recipe, too, does not call for any salt. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. You know what we'll do? I'll go ahead and follow this recipe to the T on the mixture, but I think I'll get me some of my coarse salt and sprinkle it on the top of them. See, it's always something I come across. I don't understand that about the salt thing in it. Okay, y'all, I got this recipe that I made the other day, and remember I told y'all that it absolutely didn't have enough salt in it, and it's for a 9x13 pan. So is this recipe. This recipe that I didn't think had enough salt in it was 1/4 teaspoon. Y'all, I ain't gonna be scared. I am not gonna be scared. We gonna put us a 1/2 teaspoon of salt in this thing of brownies. If it runs them, it runs them. But I know that 1/4 teaspoon is not going to be enough. And I don't want to do the sprinkle on the top. I want it in my brownie. So there we go. That's going to be a tally-fay decision. So much for doing this recipe to the T. But really and truly, I think that's what the thing I'm, going to add to it that it doesn't call for. Okay? Let's get on with it. Let's just get on with it. Here we go. We got to melt this chocolate and this butter together, y'all, because this is unsalted butter here, right? It doesn't say one way or another on this butter. It just says 3/4 cup butter or margarine. What's that mean? I don't know, and I know I'm moving forward. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to chip it up a little bit. That's a stick and a half of butter, y'all, for a 3/4 cup, okay? Now, if you use salted butter, I would use a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, all right? That's going to be my thing on that. But since I have unsalted butter, I'm going to use 1/2 teaspoon. All right, we got to get this going in the microwave and get it melted and get it all stirred up together. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and get my mixing bowl over here. I've been trying to keep everything kind of warm, y'all. You know, it's cold in the air is kind of cold in here. It is not cold in my house, but I mean, like the metal bowls and stuff like that, you know. So I'm trying to keep it, since I'm going to be adding that melted chocolate into this, I want it to be able to mix well and stuff. So that's my idea on that. All right, there's my measuring cups and my eggs. I gotta have me some eggs. Oh, this one calls for 3 eggs in it, y'all. That other recipe called for 4. So this one calls for 3. So I'm gonna put 3 in it. I hope I hope 3 is not too many and makes it cakey. Alright, keep letting that go. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put in here, y'all, my sugar. I need 2 cups of sugar in my mixing bowl here. I don't have my big 2-cup one out there, so I'll just get my 1-cupper. Get me 2 cups of sugar in here. One and 2. All right, there's our sugar. Because I'm going to stir that melted stuff into this, y'all. And I got to have my eggs and vanilla ready, I believe. Stir chocolate, okay. Stir into the sugar. Then I'm going to blend in my eggs and vanilla. Okay, how much vanilla on there? I got 3 eggs. Okay, I'm going to need a teaspoon of vanilla. We got that covered. We got that covered, no problem. Okay, I definitely got this hot. Move this over here where y'all can see that. How it's looking. It would help if I had the camera on it, right? Okay, so it's really thin looking. But it's going to be good and melted there. I got that pretty hot. That might cook them eggs, y'all. Y'all reckon I ought to let that cool just a little bit? I mean, it's going to cool it off when I stir it into that sugar. But I certainly don't want to turn my eggs into scrambled eggs. See, it's little things that you have to think about when you're cooking. Just silly little things that can make a recipe go wrong instantly, right? So for you younger girls, you know the ladies my age and stuff that have been cooking forever, you know what I'm talking about already right now, what I'm thinking about that. So, you know, it ain't going to hurt a thing for me to just wait just a minute, be a little patient, and let this stuff cool back off of that heat some. As long as it's good and melted and I can stir it in there, we're going to be just fine. But that stuff is hot, and if I put these raw eggs in there, that could mess something up. And then there I'd be out all the ingredients, and we know this stuff ain't cheap, right? And nothing's cheap nowadays. Nothing, not even the eggs. And our girls ain't laying at this time of year, so we're having to buy eggs. And so everything's just, you know, crazy, right? No, that'd be all wasted if I did that, if I let that happen. So I'm not gonna let that happen, y'all. We'll wait just a minute and let this kind of cool off. Just a few minutes. Okay, so I believe it's, you know, it's backed off enough. It's still very warm, but it's supposed to be, right? So I'm gonna go ahead, y'all, I got my 2 cups of sugar in here. I'm gonna go ahead, while I got that in there, and put my ½ teaspoon of salt, okay? ½ teaspoon of salt in with that sugar. There we go. Now, let me stir that up a little bit. Get that stirred in there. My sugar and my salt is together now. Let's get them stirred together. Sugar and salt. 2 cups of sugar, ½ teaspoon of salt. Okay, it's time to pour our chocolate and butter in here. And mix it with our sugar. All right, there it is, y'all. There's our chocolate and our butter. 1 4-ounce block of your unsweetened cocoa stuff there, and 1½ sticks of unsalted butter in this recipe. Make sure I got it mixed well. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add my teaspoon of vanilla in it. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Tally-fay teaspoon going in. Okay. Now, I've got my 3 eggs here, and I got them at room temperature as well, y'all. But I got 3 eggs here. I'm gonna go ahead and mix them with my vanilla into the sugar. Now we got to stir that and make sure I got that mixed really good. You'll see what it looks like. Okay. All right. I believe the eggs are mixed in there well. Now it's time to add our flour. We need, let me make sure, okay, I got my eggs and my vanilla in there. Now it's our flour and our nuts are going in next. Which y'all know the nuts are optional, right? And of course I'm going to use them. But I need 1 cup of all-purpose flour. There it is. 1 cup of flour and 1 cup of coarsely chopped nuts. I've got pecans today. And I'm going to stir that in there. Y'all, that's all the ingredients we got to put in these brownies. That's it. There ain't no kind of baking powder, baking soda, none of that. You know, none of that's in here. The only thing in here to make them fluffy is them eggs. And hopefully that's just to bind them, not make them fluffy. Make them rise up just a little bit, but nothing like a cake batter. Now this is much thicker than that recipe I did the other day, y'all. Much thicker. So that makes me feel good, right? Tell y'all what I'm fixing to do before I even pour it in there, just because. But I'm gonna taste this batter to see what I think about the salt thing in it. The world will be freaking out because I'm tasting the batter with raw eggs in it. Okay, here I go. Perfect. Perfect on the salt. I like that. Okay. That part makes me happy. Now comes the baking time, y'all. I'm going to get it poured up in my full line 9 by 13 pan that's sprayed. I know my arm's in the way, but I got to hold this pan like this. And you get it scraped out of here. I don't understand why they want you to do the full thing. I mean, we've never baked them in. I mean, I know what they're wanting it for you to be able to achieve, but I just never found it necessary on brownies. I've never had my brownies stick. But whatever, like I say, I wanted to do it as much to the T as possible. And really and truly, the only thing I did different was I put me some salt in this recipe, y'all. And I'm glad I did. I'm already glad I did. You know, and it's making me kind of wonder about them old recipes like these. Because these are old recipes, y'all. Making me wonder why they didn't do the salt thing in it. If there was a reason, you know, that they didn't do the salt. That wasn't the taste they wanted in their brownies. I just can't imagine that, though. I don't know. You know, maybe the salt came later. Well, obviously it did. It's not in these. It wasn't in that other one. It ain't in this one, you know. Okay, y'all. I'm fixing to put them in the oven right now. 350 degrees. It says 30 to 35 minutes. I'm going to start checking these boogers about 25 minutes in, okay? Here we go. Let's see what happens. All right, y'all, I got them out of the oven. I checked them at 25 minutes, and I let them stay about 3 more minutes over the 25. So that's where you got to play with it at, right? You got to play with it just a little bit. But I set them out, and I let them cool. So here's the full thing that they wanted us to do, right? I'm liking the way the top is looking on it. That, you know, that little crusty thing that gets on the top that crackles. It's looking like it's going to have that. So, let me get this up out here. Nice cleanup, that's for sure. Easy cleanup. Okay, let's set them over here and see what we got, y'all. Woo, they're kind of flat looking. I'm loving that. Don't look like a piece of cake laying there. Y'all know I'm excited about this. Oh, they're feeling sticky in there. Uh-huh. I may have redeemed myself on it, y'all. Y'all look at that. Look at that. Look at that. They got the crackle crust on the top. Nice and thin. Look, it's not a big puffy piece of cake. Okay. There it is, people. There it is, my friends and family. That is what Talifay wants for a brownie. And I am absolutely so glad I put that half teaspoon of salt in there. Everything about it is brownie perfection. That crust, ooh, This will be the recipe that I will put in my book for brownies. Without a doubt. I don't have to go any further, y'all. This is it. I have no doubt that this is it. There it is. If you want brownies like Tally Faye likes them, this is the recipe. Okay? I am very, very, very happy with this. I was so disappointed that those were cake brownies. But if you want cake brownies, that's a great recipe. Just check your salt. Otherwise, that is the perfect cake brownie that I did on my first one. Okay? So, those are the cake brownies. They're chewy cake brownies. They're a chewy cake brownie. Chewy, fudgy, whatever it says or whatever. But these. Okay, let's call them other ones fudgy. We'll call these chewy. I don't know. This is the brownie I want. That's all I can say, y'all. It's delicious. This recipe nailed it. And if y'all don't want to wait till my book comes out, it's on the inside of this box right here. Right there. Baker's One Bowl Brownies. This recipe plus a ½ teaspoon of salt. And you got brownie perfection right there. There it is, my friends. All right. We're going to be chowing down on some delicious brownies tonight. Ooh, I can't wait to get me a cup of coffee. I got to quit eating on them. Because they are perfect. Chocolate lover's dream on a brownie. Nuts are optional, remember that. But I sure do like them in there. So, y'all have a great evening. Take care of each other, lift each other up, stay happy, be happy, choose happy, okay? I pray that everybody's health is doing good, and those that need us in their prayers, lift them up, y'all. We know there's so many people out there, people we don't even know, and people that are very close to us and mean a lot to us. We lift them up in prayer, all right? Listen, y'all just take care of each other. I love you. I thank you for everything, all the support, the love and hugs, and just everything you give me on here, y'all. I just love you for it. I'm so blessed. Listen, y'all stay blessed. And I'll see you next time in the kitchen with Tally Faye.